up, though, Detroit? Hello, world. And back again at the illustrious PJ's Lager House. Another episode of Detroit ByCycle. As always, we have Mr. Bobby Brown in the house.
What up, though, y'all?
Yeah.
Can't get rid of me.
Nah. And
that's going to get funnier.
And we have Bruno always in the house.
What's up, fellas, man? It's good to see you guys.
What up?
I love being here at PJ's, man.
Awesome.
It's good. It's a good call.
It's a good call, no doubt.
It's a good call.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
like, for those of you who are familiar with PJ's, we're just on the stage.
That's
We
it.
just got a table posted up on the stage, and it's just a regular day here, man.
Yes.
Bobby,
What up, though?
you had an unfortunate incident we want to just brush on real quick with the courtesy,
I brushed on it, all right.
courtesy of our illustrious Q line here in the city of Detroit.
Gotta love it, baby.
Yeah, it took another good one down,
they
man.
said it
Another
was,
one
it was,
down.
you know, the best public transportation. I just didn't know you had to actually hit the street to be transported somewhere.
Literally hit the street.
So tell us exactly what
Bobby,
happened. Tell us your side of the story.
You know, it's getting ready to make that illustrious return to Slow Roll, the Grand Prix edition. I hope y'all had fun.
Right, that's just some exclusive stuff.
So I'm making my way downtown, bright lights, big city. And, you know, you get into the little Campus Martius turnaround area, coming around smooth, come down Michigan, cross over the tracks, cross over the tracks the right way. Don't get close.
90 degrees.
90 degrees, baby. So I'm making the swing around, getting ready to make the right turn right there in front of the roasting plant. And people, they come and cross, and I'm just kind of cruising along, and I go to cut left to go around somebody, cut a little too left, and got roasted by the plant over there for sure. I hit them streets,
Oh, man.
bust the lip open. I probably could have. If it was Mike Tyson, it'd be understandable. I didn't know the
Hey,
streets
are the
hit just as
photos
hard.
going to be available? Are there going to be links to the photos?
The photos
on
is out
the
there,
website?
but we will, forewarn y'all. It's a little graphic.
It's not for before dinner.
Yeah,
Right.
that's for sure. But yeah, split the lip wide open. Thankfully, I had the helmet on, so wear your helmet.
For
I
sure.
will say that.
Right.
For sure.
Wear your helmet. I cannot repeat that
They
enough.
prove.
But the irony, I probably fell like 6-7 feet away from a EMS truck
No.
as well.
It's on video.
It's on video somewhere.
you got the
Anybody got
video, you
access
can-
Right.
to roasting plant security cameras, please hit me up. I would like to see it. But yeah, hit the ground pretty hard. The bike went into the tracks. Those tracks suck. You got to be careful out there.
Please.
So you lost front and rear wheel in the tracks?
Just the front, but
Just
it
the
was
front.
enough,
That was
enough
enough.
Yeah, it just
momentum.
stopped.
It stopped.
The bike the front wheel just stopped and you went over the top.
Physics is funny,
Yeah, right.
You just
Right.
keep going.
You're right.
So I went over, Superman out there. Shout out to Soldier Boy. And came down, tried to brace the fall, but it was too quick. It just all happened way
snapped
too
you.
fast. Yeah, it
Yeah.
literally threw you down.
Like
Also-
Free Willy and shit.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yeah, I was trying to, you get off the plane, you want to kiss the ground. I got a little too aggressive. So yeah, 4 stitches in the lip, chipped both front teeth. I literally seen them rolling down the block like them chiclets was gone quick.
Damn.
Gone quick. So yeah, had a little vampire mouth for a minute. Nothing was other than my pride and my teeth and my lip. That was the only thing broke. Bones, everything, no concussion.
Bike was cool.
Bike was cool. Yeah.
Right.
I was able to ride the bike from there to the ER. Shout out to receiving and the doctors and all the ER staff at receiving.
Okay.
Took care of me. Wasn't crazy long wait time. Kind of got me in, got me out, sewed me up pretty well. I'm healing all right. The soreness came the next day, though. Yes, for sure.
That's the one.
That's
right?
the one.
Day after, and
the
then
day
the day after that,
yeah.
it gets a little bit less.
Yeah. Because I was definitely gonna try to ride the ride if I could make it, but the lip was just. They were like, "Nah, you need to go get that taken care of." So I was like, "Okay, don't be stupid."
It's not going to close itself.
Yeah, it's not
that
gonna
one.
No,
Not that one.
not that one at all. But
So-
I'm doing well now.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back, Bobby.
Right.
Hey, so this is a warning to people. Like, give them a warning right now. Let them know what the deal is.
You near them tracks, go 90 degrees. Especially if you got, the skinny tire bikes, the road bikes, tricycles out there,
Fixies,
the
single speeds.
single speeds.
Right.
You know.
Roadies.
Those
Hybrids.
tracks do not forgive.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they're not. This is what, like, and how many people do we know that it's happened to? And we know.
Yeah.
Right.
we're heeding the warnings.
Yep.
We're still, and it's still
It
getting
still
us.
happens. It still happens.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Make sure you wear your helmet, like
Right.
Bobby suggests as well.
Yes, definitely. Because I heard that hit the ground too,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just, hopefully everything's all right on
Yeah.
the way down. That's all you can think about.
Yep.
And I got up, a little scathed, but hey, I'm still here to tell the story.
That's
And he's
what's up.
smiling,
Yeah,
man.
tell
You
the
see the
story,
face.
baby.
It's all
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby's back, guys.
Yeah, so yes, be careful on them tracks and around the tracks, I know there's certain routes you got to cross over, just the nature of it, but just be careful going around them, Be mindful of which way the wheel is pointing when you cross over the tracks.
Exactly.
Right. Hey, so Henry, we had a little bit of fun with you in the last week or so.
Yeah.
You did. You thought it was fun.
I think that's just funny as hell.
My
I gotta
anxiety
admit.
had me worried.
Yeah, you did. You were. Your text indicated that you were like, so I don't get to know who the guest is. Well, Bobby and I had planned this. Bobby actually approached me with it, like, hey, we've had movers and shakers from the cycling community on our show. We've interviewed them, some heavy hitters, and there's no reason to exclude you. So we
what's
thought we
up.
would just interview you.
Right on.
And when we started to talk about it, we began to really quickly learn we don't know all the hats you wear. We know some of those, but
That's true.
that list is really long.
Yeah.
Why don't you hit us with some of that?
Well, first of all, I just want to get this out there is that when we established Detroit ByCycle as a podcast, we all agreed that this wasn't about us. This was about the people, and we wanted to maintain that relationship and build upon that. So I am deeply humbled that you guys have put me in front of the mic to talk about, some of the things that I do. I can list them. I can give you the
Dude,
story.
I
I
mean,
can
we
put you
only
in
know a
line on.
couple.
Right. All right. So, all right. Let's start at the beginning then. How
Yeah.
did you come back to cycling?
So,
I mean,
okay.
you got a driver's license too, like the
Right,
rest of us.
Right, for sure. It really came about when, so I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years in a prior life.
Okay.
Many people don't know this. And when the mortgage industry crashed here in Detroit, I was a part of that crash and I got laid off.
Okay.
And, I'd get the temporary job here and there, but more and more, I was just tired of being behind a desk and looking at a computer all day long. So that's when I think my emotions started to fade about, just being positive. Then I got laid off. So I was like, what is going on? What am I going to do now? I don't want to go back. Prior, when knowing that the industry was changing rapidly, I actually went back to school. I went to the College of Creative Studies right down in Midtown.
Right.
And I did a 2-year certificate program dealing with clay modeling and 3D automotive design. Graduated with that, and just months ago in 2008, the automotive industry crashed. So I didn't know what was going on, what I was going to do next. And I was just, real upset at myself and my situation. And sitting at home, waiting for somebody to call me, not having any idea what was going to happen
you were
next.
Sending out resumes.
All that.
Yeah,
I mean,
just like
about the dozens
doing what you do
every other day.
Hustling.
Trying to get
the next
something
job,
going.
right.
Pissed off at myself and sitting on the sofa, and I saw these group of kids ride by on their bike. And they were just having the best time, laughing,
Being kids.
Yep.
And I was like, what am I doing just sitting here on my fat ass when I got a bike downstairs that a good friend of mine gave to me? It was an awesome bike at the time. It was a Cannondale F400, I believe, F600, a mountain bike. And I cleaned it up, did what little wrenching on that I knew at that time what to do, and I just started to ride. In my neighborhood, just like 2 miles away, there's a really nice park, and I would start to develop a route where I learn my neighborhood on my bike. I hit the park, make a lap around there, come home, enjoy that experience and reflect on that, and I found that
intimacy with the street, with the smell, the
exactly.
sound, everything that's going on.
It pulled my mind away from all the other stuff that was going on, and it allowed me to have a clearer way of thinking about things. So I wound up just riding more, going further, finding different neighborhoods that I hadn't even knew existed, because I was just going to work, going home, going to the club, coming back home, going to the concert, going back home. Nothing, no exploring. Around this time, too, Palmer Park was going through its struggles with the city because they had eliminated a huge portion of their recreation budget.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up right around there, so that's my childhood park. And there were a few people who lived in the surrounding neighborhoods, University District, Palmerwood, Sherwood Forest, Green Acres, who developed a kinness over the park and not wanting it to just wither away because they have fond memories,
emotional
and,
ties
to it,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
right.
they still use it because they still live in the neighborhood. So that evolved into the People for Palmer Park, and the objective at the time was a community park that was donated to the people, and the neighborhood people wanted to take it back from the blight that was going on, the miscare, the prostitution, the drug abuse, all these listed activities that were going on because nobody cared. The city didn't care at that particular time. So we decided to take it back. And by doing that, we developed an idea that if there were activities in the park, it would push all the other foolishness away. So several people stepped up to volunteer their forte to share with the people of the neighborhood and the park. So Leanne, she always played tennis there, and she was actually the kingpin to start the People for Palmer Park. It was actually her protest of the city not taking care of it that got everybody together. Tennis and never stopped, regardless of what was going on within the park. She took up a day to teach whoever, kids and adults.
Whoever showed up.
Here's
a tennis racket.
Right.
This is how we play.
This is how we play. I chose bike rides because at the time that's what I was into. That's what I found that was helping me.
That's how you were using the neighborhood and the park anyway. You can only
share that experience with everybody else. There was a walking group. There was Tai Chi. There was yoga classes.
There's some gardening going on over there.
Yeah. And these were all free programs that we wanted to use the park for and bring people back to the park and to utilize it as it should be. So I started bike rides, and many people don't know. This was in 2010. I started Palmer Park bike rides on Monday nights.
I didn't know that.
Right. So for the first half of 2010, I was doing Mondays, and I thought I was the only one doing bike rides
living
around the city.
living in a bubble.
I was literally.
We all were then.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
didn't
true.
know.
That's
And
true.
now we've got a podcast for that. Literally to let
Exactly.
other people know about what other people are doing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, it was really just, I probably had maybe 12 people as my max, the usuals that would come every Monday night. And we would start throughout the forest, and I would pick a neighborhood and ride around that neighborhood and focus that particular neighborhood. And, at the time, we were doing 7-8 miles, real casual. And come to find out, Kelly Kavanaugh, who owns Wheelhouse Detroit, she had a tour that she wanted to bring up to Palmer Park. So she found out that I was doing bike rides around, and she got a hold of me and asked me if I could show her group that she brought from the Wheelhouse Riverfront up to the park, if I can show them around Palmer Park specifically
Do your
and
thing.
the neighborhoods.
Shine for your neighborhood.
Yep. So I did that for about 3 times. 3 of her tours I helped her out with, and she invited me to come work for her and give tours. So that was probably in late 2011. I started working for Kelly. Now, let me backtrack. First season, I went to a critical mass, I don't know, later in the year, probably July, August, and everybody knows it's at Warren and Trumbull.
Yep.
And that is just blocks from the Shack, which was Slow Roll's clubhouse. So we were gathering one night for Critical Mass, and I saw these cats over at the clubhouse, and they had whips, and I was like, okay, that's the kind of style that I like, I like what those dudes are doing over there. So I rode over, introduced myself, and I found out about Slow Roll. Unfortunately, it was on the same night of the week, Monday nights. So I concluded my season, which actually ended when it started to get dark before like at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Individuals weren't feeling too safe about being out after dark.
Right.
So that allowed me a chance to dip away in my season from my ride and check out what Slow Roll was doing
end of the season
at
for
the end
Slow
of the
Roll.
season, right. So I was like, okay, the flavor is delicious what these guys are doing. Okay, and I'm taking it all in. I was, I also used, so I got a lot of influences. You guys, I'm influenced by Critical Mass. There's sects of it that I was influenced by. Slow Roll, I was influenced by. So I was like, okay, I really like the vibe that Slow Roll had. I'm going to change my ride night to Thursdays because there was not an activity going on at that time throughout the park, and I could go ride.
You could
with
double
Slow
dip.
Ride. I could double dip.
You can double dip the rides.
Right.
We appreciate that because I enjoy both rides.
Yeah.
for sure.
Immensely.
For sure.
So we can move forward to probably 2012. Everything's going good. I was doing the Wheelhouse tours by then. I had my own ride. We were doing Slow Roll in the early stages, really getting that together and organized. And there was Big Rob at Wheelhouse, who also does heavy construction. He was telling me about this new factory he was working on that's about to build bikes.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a minute. I'm digging my little bike rides here and there. You know, I'm making a little money, side jobs and doing tours. But you mean I could do this possibly for 40 hours a week?
You could eat off a bike?
Right. That was a weekend, that Monday, I went up there and I talked to the foreman at the time. And I brought my resume, wore a suit to a factory. Felt a little awkward, but, you know, you're supposed to dress above what you really want to do. And he was like, you ride bikes, you work for Wheelhouse, you do tours. Come on, start on Tuesday. So I started the next day.
Damn.
And at that particular time, there were, probably a building staff, but maybe I was there, maybe 5 or 6 individuals. And we were just buttoning up the prototypes. And we were weeks away from the actual launch of Detroit Bikes and the A-Type. So I've been there before any production bikes were ever produced.
Exclusive.
You were there for the beginnings of a lot of really cool things.
Yes. I mean, the timing.
And then it couldn't have been better in your life.
Oh,
man.
my goodness. My attitude got better. I felt better about myself.
Of course, right. You're getting in better shape.
You know, really feeling
meeting
better.
Cool people that are, that are
feeling
lifting
better
you up.
Right. About my surroundings, my people, and the city I live in, the city I work in. And, you know, I look back at it, and it's like all from 2 wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's crazy.
Right,
what the bicycle can do.
Whatever brought us to this table was 2 wheels.
Yes, it was.
2 wheels.
You know what I mean? Like, Detroit made us friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I like to say this about you guys. Like, Detroit made us friends, but bicycles made us family.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not,
Absolutely.
it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great story, man.
So, you know, things were going good with all my bike activity, and tours are amazing. Slow Roll, Palmer Park, all, you know, just
all
making,
the benefits.
Right.
All the benefits that go along with, you know,
really,
being Henry Ford in the city of Detroit.
Exactly. And, you know, and just meeting all these people has also helped me with, I was just thinking the other day, you know, my for lack of better words, my memory has gotten better because of all the cool people I meet, and I'm too embarrassed not to remember somebody's name. So, you know, that's helped me in relation of, you know, acting and recalling all at the same time. And it's just, you know, I just thought it was an exercise that doesn't really get tested too much once you get out of school. And
oh, yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew, right? It's just helped me exercise mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Yeah, brain games.
Yeah.
Right. That's good stuff.
So, you know, the next thing, let's see. I got involved with, Bikes and Murder. I mean, brothers that I've never had. I am now a part of. So that happened. This was in 2014?
I feel like 14.
Yeah, St. Andrews.
Yeah, at St. Andrews.
Yeah, 14.
Over in St. Andrews Hall, upstairs in St. Andrews Hall.
So, you know, I became affiliated with a club, and that added another level to my...
Right, and then other clubs. Like, that led to other clubs.
Right,
and then other clubs. And you're like, like the onion just keeps getting... You just peel the onion.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And recently, I was on my second year of being a member of the board from the League of Michigan Bicyclists, and they are renowned for being the largest bicycle advocacy in the state of Michigan. So there's representation from every corner of the mitten.
Okay. I know you said that kind of calmly and stuff. Let's go back through that. You're on the board?
Yes.
Okay. Of the largest bicycle advocacy group in the state of Michigan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That's impressive.
And,
That's well done.
Thank you. And you know, I was very proud of that because I was asked to join. So,
Nice.
it sounds like a lot, but because I've been just gradually building, it's just like every day. You know, it's
You're just waiting for the next thing
I'm
to happen.
waiting for
the
it.
next bike thing to happen.
and we're doing it
And we're
right
doing
now.
right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, just to listen to the story, it's like from mortgage broker to bike board member. You know, like,
Yeah, because it can't really be a novel because it's not dry enough for that, and it should be like a graphic novel
Yeah.
maybe
That'd
where
be
there's
dope.
like some kapow,
Right.
bang.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a smash. Right.
yeah.
So, you know, that's been really fulfilling because, you know, you get to, you know, we're in the city, you know, we can go Tri-County for some sort. But to see that there are, you know, different styles of riding in other parts of the state, but there's still hardcore love for cycling, the culture.
Yeah, the therapy of two wheels,
Yeah.
like you talked about how just how therapeutic it was
It
for
was,
you,
absolutely.
emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I think we've all
Oh, yeah.
we've all been there. That's
No doubt.
that's the thing.
Yep.
And then we found each other, and it was like, okay, I'm not this unicorn out there.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of us do. I mean, if you have one bike, you're probably starting out solo. You
Right.
know, you're
Right.
starting out by yourself, and then you just gradually build that up, and hopefully it catches you.
Yeah.
You know, because it definitely caught all of
Exactly,
us. You
exactly.
know, so.
I mean, with the excitement that that's focused on, just like all the bike rides, Tour Detroit, Slow
Yeah.
Roll, you know, national attention. You know, that just shows you that it ain't just us. There are other
Yes.
people who,
Yes.
you know, are curious to start off with and then just get hooked.
And they're on different bikes, and they
For
come
sure.
in different flavors,
Oh,
and
yeah.
different, different backgrounds.
It's
but
for everybody.
It's
Yeah.
still when it gets down to it, it's two wheels.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a great story.
Yep.
It's so simple that way.
It is. It is. I mean, and you know, we preach it, and some people are like, "Man, come on, it's just a toy. A bike is a toy."
Right. I got off of mine when I got my license.
Right,
You
right,
always
right.
hear that people got that license
Yep.
disease.
You figure what you'd be surprised what you find out once you get back on.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So what are you doing now? Like, what do you anticipate happening in the rest of your summer and going forward?
Well, I mean, currently I'm still doing bike tours out of Warehouse. I'm 40 hours at Detroit Bikes. I do my ride on Thursday. I do Slow Roll on Monday. Then we have our podcast, and I really am really excited about, you know, how this is going and how we're being received. And, you know, I'm really excited as to what's next with this. And we've been discussing a few avenues that we hope to share with you real soon. But, you know, I really want to develop this. And, you know, we all have talents that we could use to gain by showing other people what we can do.
Yeah, role model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Essentially being a role model and just offering some insight and another way of seeing things, you know.
Right, different paradigm.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, when you started, like, even in your story about, like, when you just rode around your neighborhood, like, you saw, like, 1 degree of cycling in the city because that's what you knew.
Exactly.
And every day now that we're out here, now that we're doing the podcast,
Yeah.
I really feel like people are coming up to me and being like, hey, you know, or I'm going to them because now I'm curious and I want to be able
Exactly.
to, I want to know something
Yep.
so that while I'm on the podcast, if it comes up, I'm not going to be that guy.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
yeah, I knew about that.
So no, yeah, I just want to, you know, talk to more people and get the word out on, you know, what's going on that people really don't realize. I mean, as far as all the volunteering and all the social effort that it is to get people on bikes and be safe about it and be able to maintain it and be happy about being on a bike as well.
It does bring a lot of harm. And when you see a big crowd of people having fun together on bikes, it's hard to be mad on your bike. Well, I know Bobby was kind of pissed the other night.
As I'm standing there, bleeding from my lip, I could see the people at the other end, by checker bar, and I'm like, I was so close, and I gotta go. Shout out to Darren too, who was happened to be right there and seen the whole thing and was like willing to go get his truck and come get me.
Nice.
And I was like, man, I can. By the time you go do all that, I'll be at the hospital.
Right.
But shout out to Darren because he was standing there and
that's what's up.
Definitely looking out. This is a little awkward. I'm on the other side. And we definitely, we're going to thank Henry for it because he's going to be back. It ain't like, he going somewhere, coming back again. But thank you, Henry, for letting us surprise you.
Yeah,
and
man.
Being a guest on the show.
I was surprised.
You got the mad wealth of knowledge, so it felt only fitting to
Appreciate it.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you wear many hats.
Yes,
in the
and
site,
the people needed to know. The people needed to know.
Thanks.
how this started with you. So we had our rapid fire segment, and y'all know what it is. We give our guests 5 rapid fire questions, and not so much rapid fire, but go at it and see what their answers are going to be. So Henry Ford, second.
Yes.
What was your first bike?
Well, I've always been big, even as a kid, and my dad actually, the first bike that I can recall vividly was a BMX frame bike that he garbage picked, and then we spray painted it.
I think we call that repurposing now.
Right.
That's okay.
Right. Oh, believe me, I've got repurposed bikes now that I
for
ride.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
So no hate. And I remember it vividly because he kept having to fix it. If in the city, you've got big trees that go between the sidewalk and the street, that property there. And generally, the older they are, the bigger they get, and the more their roots expand.
Yeah, the root obstructions.
Right. So right in front of my house,
jumping one?
I was jumped. There was one that was right in front of my house.
Yeah.
And you know how the city packs it with asphalt.
They just
Ready-made
ramp. And the thing is, you get like a 45 degree on one side and like a 70 degree on the other side. Well, as a younger teen, 11 or so, 10, I would just hammer down the sidewalk.
Of course.
And see how many blocks I could reach.
Oh, nice.
So I've broken everything from bent my seat post back like 3 times. My dad was, every time he straightened it got a little shorter, a little shorter, and a little shorter. Oh man, I've broken handlebars. I've broken, pedals back then too.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, you know what? You're gonna have to start either not trying to break it or learn how to fix it. So that was my first taste of really understanding how it operated, the mechanics of it all.
Nice.
But then I'm recalling that it seemed like just that next summer, I was far too big for that. So he had a Montgomery Ward gold painted 3-speed hanging up in the garage. That was probably my favorite first bike right there. And I was just big enough for the saddle all the way down, and I thought I was just the man making all 3 gears.
Ratchet,
just sing, right. So that 3-speed Montgomery Ward bike is I would call my very first real bike.
All right.
Long story short.
Got the stable of bikes.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick one. What's your favorite ride to go on? I know you got the Palmer Park one. We got Slow Roll.
Yeah.
But it's just you.
You know, I find myself really just hitting Belle Isle. Wherever I leave from, it doesn't matter because I know I'll be going there.
Okay.
Sometimes it's only an after-work ride after a wheelhouse tour. Sometimes it's from home out in the burbs all the way down, getting a good 30 in.
Is the wind speed a determining factor in
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Because
you get exposed on the island a
the
little
island
bit.
will make you cry.
Yeah,
Yes,
you'll find out about yourself some days.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it because it's, you can face it or you can run away from it. That's the best part of it.
And you can hide.
You can hide from
on the
it.
island.
Yep. So my go-to out of this Tri-County area would be Belle Isle.
All right. We did get into a little bit of what possibly brought you back into cycling, but if you had to pick one thing that the catalyst, the linchpin that swung it.
Some laughing little kids riding their bikes down the street.
I mean, that was the inspiration. That really got me off my ass.
And now we're doing it.
And now we're doing
We're
it. We're the ones that are going by the windows.
Giggling our asses off when we ride with each other.
The kid is still in all of us.
It is.
Absolutely. You can just unleash it on the
True
bike.
story.
Like, here we go. Because I still hit, if a curb looks right,
oh, come on now.
I'm going off a curb.
Right.
Hey, I had a flashback, and a flash smack too,
Looking like Free Willy.
Yeah,
that was funny as hell.
Man. So, Mr. Henry Ford, what is your favorite Detroit flavor?
Woo. I've asked that multiple times, and I've really never thought about it. Detroit flavor. It'll have to be the soul of the people. I mean, sometimes, if the assistance is not readily available, we'll do stuff ourselves. So I'd have to say the soul of the city would be my favorite Detroit flavor.
And for the last one, if you had your one wish for Detroit.
Now, that I've actually thought about. And, this is the Motor City. My name is Henry Ford. I own 3 vehicles. Fun fact, I own 3 vehicles that the ages total together is almost 100 years old. Believe that. So I'm all about the motor in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be a realist that, if times are changing around you, and I think we got into a situation that we aren't changing with the times. So, I don't want to get rid of automotive because, that's part of Detroit that will never die. But I'd like us to, as a whole, shift to mobility because there's different ways to get around than being stuck in a glass house,
Yeah.
So, that being with the inclusion of cycling, walking, rollerblading, scooters, just have another aspect of how you would want to get someplace without, loading the car up and spending all this fossil fuel and money on gas. I think for your better conscience, it's important to be closer to those that are around you and not isolate yourself. I think if people start to believe in each other more and they see that, everybody's going through hard times, everybody has good times, nobody's better than the other person regardless of your income. I think the cars kind of maintain that kind of attitude and don't allow people to think outside that. So I really want a better way of thinking about making the city closer, and I think adding mobility to our name is one way we can do that.
Okay.
That's well thought out.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Well
it is.
articulated. Like
Yeah.
you
I
laid
thought
that out
about it.
really
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah.
It's nice.
Well, Mr. Henry Ford, fellow co-host, we thank you for going along with this game that we had.
Thank y'all for worrying me for about 9 days.
They were some of the funnest 9 days.
Yeah, it was, and we would have got away with it.
Even those meddling kids.
We were close.
But no, I really appreciate you guys, offering me this opportunity. And, again, we're all about informing people, so I was all about it when you guys told me that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bobby, you want to lead us into some 3 things real quick?
All right, yeah. So we're back. 3 things are going to be our favorite bike chill spot.
Little creep spot, like
Little
when you're riding with the homies, and you want to
Yeah.
just pull up on someplace real quick.
Yeah, it's off the beaten path. Not everybody knows about it. Sometimes you just go solo. Whatever, you just want to get away. Your spot.
Okay, so I got hip to this spot. Some young people who became Bikes and members, friends of mine, took me to it the first time, and that's going to be the lighthouse down on the river. I like the lighthouse spot. It's good for sightseeing, both, geographically, it's cool to be there, and sightseeing in human terms.
Yeah,
You see a little something, everything come through there.
Yeah.
And it's got that nice berm. You can just pull up, put
Yep.
your bike on one side, sit on the other side, chill out, and do what you do for a good 15 minutes. Get back on your bike and move on with your adventure. So that's my spot.
Okay.
All right. Henry, what's yours?
Well, I think it's probably be a consensus that, because we're so close to water, that's probably the most comfortable spot to chill. I like Belle Isle. I like the
That's
beach
the
on
old
Belle
school.
Isle.
Yeah.
I like the fountain on Belle Isle. There's several areas where you could, depending on your attitude.
Yeah,
Right,
there's a lot of quality on
Yeah.
there.
You can hipster beach it.
You could, absolutely.
if
Yep, that's
if
a
you're down
spot.
for that,
Feeling, yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or you
just-
could go to the beach, just the regular
the
beach.
I even roll up to the pier, take the pier all the way out, and just
Right.
chill out there too.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I say Belle Isle.
All right. For me, my spot, I like Riverside Park.
Nice.
Sits under the Ambassador Bridge. I think it's, next to Belle Isle and the lighthouse. It's probably one of the better views of the city that you can get. I think when I was a kid, I used to go over there. Pops used to take us over there. I know cats like to fish over there a lot.
Yep.
And I hadn't been for a long time till moving down in Southwest, and I'm like, oh yeah, the boulevard runs out right here, and I would just, if I'm on the bike going down 4th Street, just detour, go over there, shoot some photos, chill, whatever. It's pretty quiet. I don't think a lot of people. I think people know about it, but it's not the spot that
They might have heard about it.
They might have heard about it, yeah.
Because it's where the
only
the only
post office
yeah, the
that
water
floats.
post, yeah.
that floats. There's the post office for the ships. is there.
Westcott?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I used to work with a guy who actually was a captain on that particular boat.
Oh, nice.
Captain
Nice.
Steve, what up?
Captain Bobla, what up?
But yeah, Riverside Park, and it's getting redone right now. They just put in new skate park. There's supposed to be a couple of dog parks, softball field, basketball courts.
Nice.
I think there's tennis as well.
Yeah, I have been down there. I've been down there a couple of times.
Yeah,
and
they're in like phase 2 or 3 of the 5-phase project. But once it's complete, it's definitely going to be a really
I'm gonna
nice
have to
spot.
check that out,
Really
yeah.
nice spot. But yeah, under the Ambassador Bridge, man. You can't beat it. It's a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem. For
It's
sure.
going to be beautiful.
It is.
Yeah,
It
I,
is.
was- I saw John Hughes and the fellas down there a couple of times tearing it up.
Nice.
And,
Oh yeah, and Tony Hawk was over there.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk, Tony
this
Hawk made an
past
appearance.
weekend.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not his. No, his track. He
That's
didn't-
not his.
Okay.
No.
He sponsored a skate park.
The one downtown.
The one
Right.
downtown
Yeah,
off
okay.
of
Right.
Farmer.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's a bowl over.
Oh, it's legit.
It's some pro.
okay.
It got levels.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
it's got even got like rails and like a starter part.
Okay.
And then there's like,
Oh, then there's the
Awesome.
pro. Yeah.
you'll get seasick just looking at it. They're like, hey, you getting in here? Like, no.
You have to check it.
Of the Detroit ByCycle podcast. You all know where y'all can find us on social medias. It's Detroit ByCycle. Check out the webpage. Check out our Instagram. Facebook. We definitely post events that we know are coming up. That we participate in and are going to.
We love your comments when you come up to us, but throw some on the web too.
Yeah. Definitely. Let a friend know.
Yeah.
Let a friend know. We also want to thank Mr. PJ's
Absolutely.
Lager House for
Absolutely.
letting us have some time in the space on the stage.
1254 Michigan Avenue in Detroit, Michigan, in case you're interested.
That'd be Corktown.
That'd be
Yes,
Corktown, folks.
Corktown.
Bicycle friendly.
Yes.
And we're open 7 days a week. The kitchen's open till midnight every night, and we're open till 2 every morning. And we open up sometime Monday and Tuesdays at 4, Wednesday through Friday at noon, and Saturday and Sunday at 10:30. So please stop in and visit us anytime. Love to have you. And it's kind of I have never participated in a podcast before, and it's amazing how little you really need to do this, and it's really kind of cool that you can communicate with that many people. So
Indeed.
I look forward to having you back here, and we can be flexible with everybody and work together. So
Thank
you for inviting me, and thanks for coming in and doing your thing.
Thank you so much,
PJ.
PJ.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna let Henry Ford lead us out of here as usual because that's how you got there.
we all got lanes, man.
Yeah, that's
we all
right,
got
that's
lanes.
right.
That's not for me.
So, as you know, this is Detroit ByCycle. We're all about the love, benefit, art, culture, food, and the people we meet from the Detroit area and beyond.